now. Hello, everybody. I am your guest comptroller, Ryan Ridley. Harmontown is now in session. Please welcome your game master, Spencer Crittenden. And of course, the mayor of Harmontown, Dan Harmon.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me back here in the City of Angels. Did you know that's what Los Angeles means?
Yeah, of course.
Where's the city part of that? That's Los Angeles. Where's the city? I know enough Spanish to know we're being taken for a ride.
Yeah.
It means the City of Angels. No, I think it means the Angels.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Los Angeles is like short for some ridiculous, stupid long name. Did you guys know that?
La Ciudad de Angeles?
No, it's at least 4 times that many syllables, I believe. I don't know it, so this is worthless.
I stopped listening because I was not because I'm a flawed person is why I stopped listening.
Well, I mean, you made the right choice.
No, don't self-deprecate.
It was a dead end.
How you doing, Ridley?
I'm good. I'm a lot less nervous than the last time I was here. Yeah.
Still more nervous than Jeff, though.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Is he ever nervous? Any time?
I think he channels it via like tubes down his back, like actual visible tubes down, like.
That's why he always wears a suit.
Yeah. It's to mask his dune armor that like takes
Where does
his
it
nervousness.
go?
It goes into his balls, obviously. Because the more nervous he should be, the bigger his balls get.
Uh-huh.
Which makes you go, oh, he's not nervous. And he's like, not anymore.
Uh-huh.
Not thanks to Ball Direct. And some of you ladies, and I'm not, my strong, fierce, totally equal, agency-addicted Harmonian females, you're going, what's the big deal with balls? What about the puffy parts of the labia? Is that the... You don't go by where just the part where on the body
That's
where it
not
hangs
the
down?
equivalent, yeah.
No? All right. Well, I'll keep researching. I was trying to come in, I was trying to be an understanding man, but I guess I need to look into it a little more. I know it's the ovaries. Okay, so speaking of labia, my wife, Erin McGathy, or as they call her in her homeland, Erin McGatty, she's over in Ireland right now. She left for New York to go on a month-long Vision Quest.
You said something like
Vision Quest
Identity Quest is what you call it.
I said Identity Quest because Vision Quest, we say that now to, I think, impugn. Mm-hmm. If your friend Kevin,
sarcastic?
Yeah, you're kind of like, oh, Kevin's on his Vision Quest.
Walkabout. Yeah.
Walkabout maybe we should bring back. Vision Quest is kind of like, we need to let that soil heal. Mm-hmm. And let me shed an extra tear for the Native American people who came up with the Vision Quest, as far as I know, only to see it go from being magical to hack. Like, imagine that they're like, now that first my life, then all this litter in the 70s. Mm-hmm. Now my comedic chops.
They get a tough break.
Now I'm the new Abe Lincoln. Mm-hmm. Says a guy who's effectively slaughtered by Lincoln. Uh-huh. Slaughtered by him. Every slave he freed cost an Indian a life. Look it up. Don't look it up. Don't look it up because I'm afraid I'm wrong. Don't look it up because don't spend your night that way. Don't look it up because you have people in your life that need you and neighbors that are afraid of you.
I don't even know how you'd look that up. What would that even look like in a Google search? What would the results be?
I don't want to answer the question because they'd have to break it down into unfunny things about actual genocidal statistics. Speaking of statistics, I don't know. I don't want to jump to that. Erin's in Ireland and she's in a different time zone, so I don't know. She's sending me police brutality statistics. So we'll check in with her department in just a while. We've got Fred Fredrickson on the Fred floor. Fred, how's it going down there with all those Freds? Well, the Freds are spread from floor to ceiling. It's a Fred room. All right, Fred. Well, more on that later. Now we go to Steve. Steve, what's going on in Hawaii? Well, I bet you thought there was going to be Steves here, but I'm just in Hawaii. Back to you, Rick. Fred, you okay? Oh my God, Fred's drowning in Freds. Steve, do something. I'm in Hawaii, Rick. I can't do anything. Was your name Rick? So she's in Hawaii. She's not in Hawaii. She's in Ireland, Erin, and I have to, I was like she was registering sadder things earlier before me, and then checking in with me and going, I'm leaving for a month, and I'd be like, yeah. And then she's like, well, are you sad that I'm leaving for a month? And I'd be like, yeah, of course. I feel things differently than you, Like, and I do, and I did, and then like an hour before her car pulled up to the hotel in New York, this wave of panic. It was like, I haven't with a maximum of 3 days ever, and I'm not seeing this person. Really? And then I was so excited to text her. Well, I'm really bummed out. And she was like, "Yay!" So stuck her in a car, and off she goes to the airport to go to Ireland, her ancestral homeland, where you did the Israeli version of this. Yeah. This is it's a goy kibbutz.
Much more dangerous. Not that it's a competition, but I was definitely risking my life more.
We must have talked about this on the show, but when you went over, I had all other friends that went to Israel and did the thing, and they said that there were decoy bus stops.
Decoy bus stops?
Secret real bus stops down in a secret place, and then a big fake public Sesame Street bus stop for getting blown up.
So it still results in people getting blown up.
No. They don't send people to they tell everybody, shh, just for Jews. The secret. It's a secret.
But
look, I heard this from a Jewish guy. This is not me. I will be very happy to find out this isn't true. I mean, you guys sound like Smurfs a little bit.
Well, nobody told me about the secret bus stop. So.
Okay. I bet it was like one thing. I bet that's an urban legend created from somebody from like one stretch of road where they built it was some apocryphal, like based on one real incident.
The closest ever, I was in a bus stop in the West Bank, and there was a concrete slab next to it, and they said it was because of snipers, protected you from snipers. That was real.
Just while you're at the West Bank, because that's where all the money is, or
that's the opposite.
So that's
where all the money is not.
When they added the ATMs at the West Bank, they had to add a sniper barrier.
Oh God, Dan!
Get them while they're withdrawing their money from the West Bank. I'm gonna look it up later, and I'm gonna have a really smart conversation about Israel.
On the same site as the Indians, slaves.
Yes.
Data. Yeah.
So geopolitically, I'm on it, so what Erin is on is sort of it's like a website that, like, I don't even know. I can't describe it without us making it sound silly. It's a website that pairs people that are looking to travel with organic farm, like nonprofit kind of, so a nonprofit network of organic farms or businesses that, and then the people can go and like I think work for room and board, but then you get to just stay there for so at night.
You
she's
told me it was
broadening
an Irish kibbutz.
An Irish
and
kibbutz.
then I understood what you meant. Yeah.
What's a non-Irish kibbutz?
Kibbutz.
What is
The kind in Israel, I guess.
I'm not gonna describe a real kibbutz because it'll somehow I'll walk over some tripwire.
Anti-Semitic again.
Yeah. I'll sound. I won't
How
say
can it
something
get worse?
anti-Semitic.
How can your description possibly be more offensive than the ATM flypaper bit?
Well, that's not okay. All right, see, you're drawing the anti-Semitic dots of like Jews and money. I get what you're doing. I didn't.
The line came out of your mouth between the two dots.
West Bank. It's the word bank.
Oh my God.
Wait, no one.
That was just a horrible coincidence.
Well, wait, so you guys were just hanging out in a world where I like hate Jews and that I think it's hilarious that I hate them and that I'm like, well, I got one. They're getting their money because they're Jews. Money.
Bro, I've been hanging out in that world for 10 years. That's as long as I've known you.
Well, can you put a special tone in the podcast recording? Because if they're a test group, then 2 million people are about to think that and they won't wait this long. You can't delete a Vulture headline. You can't unwrite the 20 pages that are about to get published in Salon that you can write in 10 minutes.
I think you'll be fine.
All right.
I'm your Robin Quivers.
All right.
What's a kibbutz?
It's like a commune, basically.
Oh.
In Israel. That's all it is.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what a commune is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Very disappointing.
You go and you hoe a potato, or what's a Jewish potato? What's an Israeli potato?
A latke.
And oranges, actually.
Oh, what did you say?
A latke.
A latke.
You know, I was going to make that joke, and I was like, say latke, it'll get a laugh. And I was like, no, give the real information. And I said oranges. Or dates.
I was just so shaken by the bank thing. Like I was just like, yeah, I'm 6 years old. It's a bank, right? And everyone's like, oh my God.
But you were still talking about how the Jews were coming there to get money out.
Well, who cares? Yeah, I'm not dumb. Like I'm not Peter Sellers in being there. I'm not like, oh, I'm so innocent. I'm just saying like my intent couldn't have been more innocent. Like I was doing dumb wordplay. Yeah, I can still call them Jews and say that they're going there. Wasn't making the. No! Oh no! Okay, so Erin's in Ireland. She's on a kibbutz, essentially, which you now know what that is.
I do.
And she's gone. She's ethereal. She's watching. She's right there. But to the camera. But
Hi, Erin.
You can't touch her. And then I thought, the car drives away, and I was there. And I had a little surprise cry in like a bathroom, but like, and then I was like, but I pushed it down. There was the wrong kind of laugh from the back. Thank you. We now live in a world where we know the different kinds of laughs. That was the wrong kind of laugh. I'm not judging you. You're free to stay. But I know you are judging me. And I'm calling you out. Hashtag cancel the back row. Then I suppress it all, and I suppress it with the fabric of I get to play really, really uninterrupted video games. Like I don't think that Aaron, the truth is Aaron never stopped me. She was never the reason. But it was just like, I just mean with impunity, with no guilt, no shame, which is a dangerous thing because I have a lot of shit to do. Like Aaron would always be, she was like, it's 5 a.m. and I'd be like, so what? You're not my real mom. But now it's just like, oh shit, I forgot to feed the fish or something. It's like stuff will grow on me if I'm not careful. So, but still, I'm very excited. And I hook up the Shadows of Mordor game.
Yeah.
These kids know what I'm talking about. They like the Shadows of Mordor. And they're going through the tutorial. Every video game now has action video game has like the parts where they sometimes they work it into the narrative. Sometimes they just go, hey, here's a tutorial. A lot of them seem hard pressed to work into the narrative. I don't know why you couldn't just say.
What do you mean, the training part?
Yeah, I was like it seems like we're about 15 years in now of all video games being ironic and working it into the narrative. I don't know if I think they're putting too much effort on themselves.
I think I know. I mean, I don't play a lot of video games. You're talking about in Elder Scrolls when you're in the prison and you in Oblivion and you get broken out. It's kind of like
Elder Scrolls. That's good. That's like a good version of it because you're doing real stuff. But it's like the bad ones are like your friend Winslow comes over and he's like, for old time's sake, why don't you wave the stick around? Press A to wave the stick.
I thought the weird ones are the ones where they're actually telling you. I think the weirdest one so far is New Vegas because your character is waking up from a near-fatal head wound. A doctor has fixed your brain and is doing a checkup on you. And so he wants to make sure your brain works right, so he asks you to associate certain things. And the whole time you're like, well, come on, I know when you ask me that, what you really mean is, do I want to be a demolitions expert? But and also it's just weird that you're asking me to form my own brain from a head injury. Like I'm always going to think, whenever I blow myself up later, I'm going to be like, I bet I was supposed to be a sniper, and I bet they shot the judgment part out of my brain. It's like I'm a monster in this game. Anyways, but they always walk you through. Okay, here's how you crouch. Here's how you run. Here's how you. And one of the big things is stealth attack at the beginning of Shadows of Mordor. You're learning how to stealth attack, but they do a very clever thing because they're also weaving this horrible, tragic thing about this guy who's lost his wife to orcs and goblins and things. He's woken up as a half-dead wraith-like being who's tied to another being's curse to be a spirit of vengeance against these orcs and Mordor. Such an awesome game, and so you're having flashbacks as your tutorials on how to operate the character. So the way you learn to stealth kill people is like 2 minutes into the game where I'm like, all right, like I cried, I missed my wife, but fucking on the other hand, Shadows of Mordor. And then and I wrote it down because it said at the bottom of the screen. You literally have a bouquet of flowers in your hand, and your wife is up ahead, and it teaches you stealth by you hiding so that you can surprise her better. And it says at the bottom of the screen, while in stealth, press X to kiss your wife. And I just started bawling. I didn't start bawling out. I fucking nailed her. I gave her the flowers. I'm gonna kick ass at slitting people's throats on this game. But I was giving her flowers, and I was just crying.
That's like the equivalent of the wax on, wax off. Like you learn by giving flowers. Like I remember, you slit an orc's throat.
Are you saying for me or for the character of the game?
For the character.
Well, I think the character of the game learned how to slit throats. They're not teaching you that he's learning how to slit throats using flowers and his wife. That would be the craziest. I guess
that would be a leap. Yeah.
That would be the craziest like mentor in the world.
Because of his romance training, he's able to be an elite assassin. Yeah, that's crazy.
Or because he's such a lethal assassin, he recognizes that to kill is to love.
This is like a downer, but there's like a Call of Duty game where like you attend a funeral and you can press X you're supposed to press X to pay respects to the fallen, but you can mess up. Like if you don't approach it at the wrong angle, like you could press it'll also pop up, press like control pad to vault over the gravestone, which is some bad.
I love those unintentional the things that, like, all video games have that, to the extent that they try to simulate reality, try to simulate a world and individuality. There's always these gaps where it's like it's hilarious, like unavoidably sociopathic. Like the Witcher 3, the thing, like you walk into a guy's hut and you go, "Hey, I'm here about the thing you put on the board." "Oh yes, my Jessica. Oh, they found her bones outside the troll cave, but the blood trail led off the cliff. I keep telling the preacher that her soul won't come back tormented, but he's making me tie this ear to a branch. I'm afraid ghouls will come and try to eat me because they'll be attracted by my daughter's rotting human flesh. So could you come with me and just stave off the ghouls so I can summon my daughter's ghost and just murder her with the arms of her lover to banish her soul for all of eternity, and I'll give you 20 silver pieces, and then just one of your 4 options is like, how about a hand of Gwent, which is like this card game in the thing, or like it's just like you would just go like, you know checkers?
Oh, you're asking him if he'd rather play Gwent instead, or you're offering him a deck of Gwent?
I'm sorry. My punchline demands a really religious knowledge of Witcher 3, and I apologize for that. I was on a roll halfway through, and I was like, this train is not coming to the station they think it is, and I could have riffed something, but then it would have been like you would have gone like, why would you play checkers? And I'm really sorry about everything that happened. But all those RPG games, they're always like there's like somebody that's like, they're just talking forever sometimes about like corpses and their ancestors and stuff, and you can always just go like, what have you got for sale? Because they just happen to also be a blacksmith. Could you make me a hammer? I love the idea of a guy that would really be like that. The people would be like, listen, about that thing earlier. Ching, ching. Here's your hammer. So your wife. Oh, God, thank God. I guess you're just like a strange person, but I hear, as I said at the top of the conversation, your reputation precedes you. I'm very disturbed because I have Shadows and Mordor is another great, it's like a Batman thing. Hey, what's this, the video game show? I don't know. What did you think it was, Troy?
Is that somebody in the audience you're picturing?
Yeah.
Raise your hand, Troy. And your name might not be Troy.
I hate video games, and I love Dan Harmon. So that person deserves actually a lot of attention.
Actually, I think I'm Troy.
Well, okay. So you haven't played in a while. But I'm just talking about in general, like you don't have to have any familiarity with video games for this conversation to happen. So, as I've often said, the thing that I love most about these video games is inventory management. I love no matter what the game's like, I demand that it be really good, but with the combat, I gotta kill a dinosaur, but I will always, like 90% of the game, as anybody that's ever come into my home will tell you, like, it's just me, it's just a screen of text, and I'm just like sorting cabinets. So, and then once I do, like, I stop playing. Like, I'm like, these are my fishing rods. These are my magical swords. These are my swords that I'm probably gonna sell because, let's face it, I don't need them, but I also don't need the money at this point because I kind of got to think down to a system. These are my wolf pelts. These are my uncured wolf pelts because the thing is, there's a guy in the other town that if you sell them to him, he'll give you an extra gold piece. If you do that 1,000 times, that's a good way to spend an hour. I'm obsessed. I become obsessed with these things that I'm not obsessed with in real life. But then the only other thing that I like, Ryan.
Yeah.
And this is a segment called Dark Confessions. Is there a music cue for? I know I'm hitting you kind of off guard there. Yeah. Yeah. So the Shadows of Mordor made me finally. I connected the dots because I'm like, why not? I like this game. I like Assassin's Creed. I like the Batman games. I like these aspects of these games. I like stalking and killing.
Yeah.
I like specifically stalking and killing.
Yeah.
Not fair fighting people. Not being honorable. Like I like creepy. Horrible.
Now, I know this actually. I can relate to this
self-empowered, like creepy, like 70s serial killer.
Yeah, you don't remember because the one time I did play video games 10 years ago, we were both playing Oblivion, and I found out that was the difference between you and me. Because I like to go charging into battle with a sword, swinging face to face with my opponents, and you're like, no, I sneak up behind them and slit their throats. And I was like, well, what's the fun in that?
Because it's a lot. It's like not playing the game.
Who is the time to sneak?
I do. I fucking like if you would watch me. Well, now you can with Twitch, but if you but I would have like if you would see me the way that I play video games, where I'm like it's just I'm always the like I'll just find some fucking cabinet or like a little railing or something where it's shaped weird, so the I kind of wiggle in there, and then I just wait for the monsters to go rawr, 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 and then I'm like, coward bomb! And it takes like 2 damage away, and they're like, rawr, rawr. And I'm like, I got you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Hole in the system. It may only be 2 points of damage, but it adds up, baby. And then someone will come in the room and go, what are you doing? And I'll go, I'm slowly blowing up an elephant gorilla that I could probably kill with 3 hits, but then I'd have to suffer the indignity of that fucking thing touching me, thinking that it's better than me. I like these. Shadows of Mordor is like it's the ultimate. This is the thing. It's like this is why I now know what I've been doing with video games my whole life. Because Shadows of Mordor says it. You get your throat slit in the beginning of the game, and you wake up a ghost man in hell world. So you kind of don't belong there, but so like everyone's expendable. There's no guilt. Everyone's an asshole. You're in asshole land, which is run by the people that already killed you. Your wife's already dead. Your kid's already dead. You have no idea what's going on, but there's a ghost man saying, you have ghost powers now. Go fucking kill people. And here's how you really kill them nice. Like if you get behind them, if you press the X button, then you grab their windpipe and you suck their life essence into your sword, and then you take your sword and you stick it, and the sword gets more power the harder you choke them. And once your sword's full, you can stick it in a stone and get a bigger hand for choking 2 throats at once.
Sold.
Dark confessions. I fear now, as a 42-year-old, like as we enter the world of increased like virtual. Now I'm my mom. Like now I'm ready to say this is going to be trouble. Like now I'm willing to say I think if a 14-year-old kid could put on a helmet and like walk around a virtual house with a knife and practice being Michael Myers from Halloween, like the kid I don't now I can't now I don't know now I'm just old. But I get to do it all.
But then
I'm like fucking choke you in the game.
Wouldn't he be satisfied being Michael Myers in just the VR world? You think he'd take it out?
I don't know. And then there's the question of like, well, if they have the technology to simulate that, then they have the technology to simulate you preventing it and understanding that it's wrong and stuff, which is what our current video games are. I heard somebody make a titter. You think that's silly? Well, I mean,
you mean do good?
But
through video games?
Video game where like you're going to save people.
Oh.
Actually, I think we're kind of seeing that shift right now.
Wait a minute. My brother told me he did Oculus Rift demos, and he said that one of them is you walk through a party both as someone getting from the POV of someone getting date raped and also the date raper. So like you kind of see like.
Well, okay.
And it was meant to be an educational, like, don't date rape people. Not, here's how you do it.
Well, the funny thing is that's like a new face on something.
It was like empathizing with the victim or something.
The origins of pornography is like it had to originally start as like reefer madness. Let's show you people smoking pot. Let's show you what you want to come. You're fascinated with pot smoking, so you're going to come see this movie called Reefer Madness. But we're gonna be protected because we're going to be telling you. Blah, blah, blah. And then pornography started as sex ed kind of videos. Like, oh, look at Sally the Slut. Here's how you recognize her. She'll be tromping around showing gam when it's not called for by her job. That's too much gam, Sally. You just hope you got enough more gam to walk to the Skid Row.
And they said, what if we take the narrator out? And we just...
That's exactly. Yeah. That's the history of pornography, right?
Yeah.
It's like, after they slowly were like, well, how educational is this? I just came back from a test screening of Sally Slut, and there weren't a lot of anti-sluts in the audience. A lot of guys demurely respecting the film craft by holding their hats in their laps. So what is that like? Was that a positive fart sound? Okay. I projected onto that. Like I just heard like my older brother going like that's a sentence.
Well, it wasn't like a buckled over belly laugh is what you're probably hearing. It was like a, slow air escape from a balloon. I guess that was kind of funny laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't you do that when something's really, really unfunny sometimes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't your best work.
No. And you know what? I'm making it up as I go, you asshole. All right. So when in stealth, press X to kiss your wife. Just. That doesn't necessarily have to be the title of tonight's podcast, but it's words to live by. I was gonna call. Oh no! See, yeah, okay, nope. Thought I had something to talk. Nope. All right, nope. No, nothing much really to talk about. Rick and Morty's doing good.
The last of the leaked episodes airs tonight.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, don't jinx it, baby.
Did anybody watch it yet, the leaked episode?
No.
Really?
Wait, so which one is tonight? Last week was his ex-girlfriend.
No, that's tonight.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that one leaked. That's why everyone was telling me. So it airs tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, kids.
That one's a bummer.
These kids. Hard to write for, hard to sell to, and then they go and steal it. And then you try to give them something they think will be neat. Okay, you're into that stuff. How about an Apple Watch? They don't even buy it. They don't like it. They say it's dumb. They say it's like a tiny iPhone on your wrist. Why would I have that? I need my free hand for snogging. Polyamorous holographic snogging. Speaking of shifting definitions and things, I don't even know what my job is in this situation, but I feel like I don't have a job. There is no job. There's no policing. There's nothing going on. But I thought it's an interesting part of the conversation to bring up that very funny Rory Albanese on last week in New York, and I was sitting there, so I think there was a really uncomfortable kind of coincidence that happened, which was that Rory was not looking at, if you're listening to the podcast, Rory is not looking at Jane. I don't think he knows Jane exists or where Jane is. Rory is hearing about Jane verbally. And so and then there's a point where Rory as a stand-up comic coming from a certain some 90% of the time admirable like instinct for skepticism of social trend and fad and groupthink and things is still like heard. I think got the name wrong, Jan or Jane or something. Wasn't looking at Jane, but then like went into a kind of riff about, and I know it's okay to have boobs these days and have whatever you want, or the transgender thing, and I was like, oh god, this is terrible, because Jane is a trans Harmontown fan, and that's what happened. It was just sort of a bumper car crash, and I didn't, I thought it was good to let the traffic keep moving rather than stop down the entire show, and like I knew that Jane would probably most likely be tickled by the whole thing, and I have no idea if anything happened online as a result of that. We're living in tender times, and I did see a tweet or two that implied that maybe, I don't know, conversation got generated about that moment because it's like a really important like bottleneck that we're going through all at the same time, and so there's conversation generated on there. I just for my part, until I don't know any more information, I just wanted to say I was sitting there on the stool and there was no no one was witness to a microaggression. I almost feel dumb like being a traffic cop for that, but I'm always like the most bummed out about people hurting each other's feelings. Because I know that nobody wants to. I know nobody would ever. There's so few people that would ever make that choice. If somebody's actually, by the way, here's a trick. Like if somebody's like saying something hurtful to you, it's either a misunderstanding or like they're putting so much energy into trying to hurt you that like they must be anticipating the same from you. There's no other reason why they would do that, And they're always drawing that energy from some other part of them. That's like a great place for a sneak attack, which is like their respect receptor. Like if somebody's like being a total piece of shit to you, like there's almost nothing to lose by even giving that first shot, which is just being nice. Which, by the way, Jane always does. Like Jane always meets that stuff with total resilience and compassion, which makes you wobble and goes like, oh, I thought this whole thing was about making me feel bad. So, anyways. I got high before the show, and
I don't know who any of these people are. I've only heard the episodes I've actually been on, so it's 2. You can reference those episodes. I'll know what you're talking about. But
didn't he say he played a lot of Gwent? That guy, Rory.
I think Rory, who's awesome, by the way, was doing this IFC pilot with us. A really, really, really cool guy. I think, was it him?
He said he stopped playing the game, I think, because he was just playing Gwent.
Yeah.
With NPCs.
Well, if you overheard that, then it was him for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He plays for the Gwent for you Witcher 3 fans. That's some Witcher 3 comedy for you. He plays for the Gwent. Holy shit! We're gonna bring our guests up. Jesus Christ! What the fuck?
I was just gonna say something.
What the fuck? What were you gonna say, Ryan Ridley?
I was gonna say, let's keep the show moving, because that's what a comptroller's supposed to do, right?
In what way should we keep the show moving, Comptroller Ridley?
Let's bring up our guests.
Oh shit,
Dan, introduce our guests.
Oh, well, sorry. I was reading text from Aaron.
Excellent comptrolling.
Thank you.
We'll bring our guests up and then we'll read them police brutality statistics. Okay, now I gotta go back to the. Hold on, I have to find the.
Dan was saying, in the last 4 days, 500 people have been killed by cops. It's funny because it's not true.
Right. No, I got it a little wrong. All right. Jesus Christ! Could someone put kerosene on my face and light it on fire? To just burn off some of the sweat?
Or is there a towel?
Dying up here. I'm like Louis Armstrong. But I haven't earned it. I mean, he's like blowing into a tube.
Yeah.
So these guys are a recent relative to us. We're old timers. Recent addition to the Feral Audio Network. They have this show that they started doing called Before You Were Funny, which is a really interesting concept. We live in Los Angeles. It's like we're surrounded by geniuses all the time and people we admire. even ourselves sometimes. And then you really you open up to yourself and your closest friends about the really hack shit you did, unless you're some kind of weird deformed prodigy that was writing good comedy when you were 13 years old. You probably went through this horrible hack phase. So it's a really refreshing show. I took part in it. Aaron's done it. It's really great. It's when you get the right group of people, these really funny people that come together and reveal that when they were 22, 25, 27, whatever it is, that they wrote these horrible, unfunny things, and they read through them, and it's an uplifting experience. It's not caustic. I wouldn't tolerate it otherwise. Did you hear my 38-minute what is your point transgender monologue? I obviously care about something that has clearly to do with me being perceived as a good person, and stops completely right there and does no one else any good. I just have this really tight bubble around me of good intention.
Yeah, you don't have to try so hard, man. You are a good person.
If anyone's ever finds himself looking over here into this corner of the room, just wanted you to notice I'm a feminist. Hello? Boy, is that bad what we do to black people. Hello? Just over here. I brought some calamari. Frozen. I don't know how to make it. I'm white. I'm so white. When's The Bachelor coming on? Okay. I had to give him a place. It was for my improv training. I put him at a Bachelor viewing party. So these guys have this show. It's called Before You Were Funny. Let's meet them and pick their brains about this weird Verdun that they live in. Justin, Michael, and Jacob Reed. Hello, fellas.
Hello,
Hey.
how are you?
Sorry about the wait.
Wait was great.
It was great. We learned about a lot of social issues.
Okay, good. Yeah. Are you guys airtight now on how to feel about me?
Yeah.
I'm a good person. I don't know how to tell you how to feel about gun control, global warming, transgenders. We need a noun that describes the issue. Because I keep going transgender movement.
Yeah. Transgender issue?
Transgenderism.
Yep.
No,
I'll
but
take
that's
that.
Not, I don't. That makes it sound that's.
Isn't
all right.
it
What if we just referred to it?
LGBT rights?
I looked to you like you were saying that, and that was not you.
I'm not going to memorize a bunch of letters that don't spell something. ISIS, I can remember. LGBT. Well, I don't know whether to respect it or order it.
So if that acronym had vowels in it and made a word, then it would be better.
Yeah, and it would have to spell something cool, like tree or something, or sword.
I bet if you rearranged them enough, it would spell something.
I mean, it spells leg butt.
Quibital, right?
Yeah.
A quibital, a thing that you slice somebody with?
Yeah.
I took Quibital for a week when I had the flu.
So have you guys? How long have you been doing this experiment of inviting people to bring the shit that they would never want anyone to hear if they were invested in protecting their image?
3 years as like a good show.
Yeah.
And then like 6 years probably.
We did it 6 years ago, like twice, and then stopped because
There was zero audience for the first year.
Yeah, and then and we tabled it. We're like, we should wait until more of our friends become famous and want to do this show.
Right.
Those are,
Yeah.
And
So-
also, yeah.
The thing I'm curious about in that time, so I'm trying to be a better interviewer, but part of it was me realizing that you're not supposed to ask things that you think an interviewer should ask. You're supposed to ask things that you actually want to know. So I was thinking about what I want to know. And the thing is, when you hear it, it's not going to be that. You're going to be like, we can't answer that. But what I really want to know is, like, when you're like, who? There must be. You guys have an encyclopedic library of the ways people handle embarrassing themselves.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And so do you have shorthand for he's a Henry? Like he's gonna bring in the shit that he actually thinks is funny, and you're gonna be able to tell he thinks it's funny.
There are some people who do bring in things that they think is funny, and then and then they're like, oh, it didn't go over well because people are expecting bad things.
Right. I think it's a defense mechanism because you're like, well, I said bring your most terrible stuff, but I'll bring my stuff that's
still a
only
show.
a little
Right.
bad.
Which is the word. I mean, that's such an understandable, logical decision, but it's so you can see how that's. I think isn't that what we're all doing all the time? Aren't we all going, well, they say you love me, but, I guess that is, you'd love me more if I was a little different. And we're not ourselves, therefore. Our warts are not showing, therefore our actual, like, most amazing moments are kind of through a weird gauze.
The best stuff is always the stuff that people are horrified when they realize how bad it is. Like, a lot of the time people will send us stuff without having read it ahead of time, which is what we suggest, but I mean, I would read stuff before I sent it to someone. I think you'd be crazy not to, but a lot of people do what we ask and send it sight unseen, and then as they're reading it, they realize how truly terrible it is, and those are the best reactions in the world.
Yeah, we had one that they realized halfway through the sketch that only the stage direction was racist. The sketch itself was not, but the way in which they described things was very racist.
Specifically mentioning the ethnicity of characters who were coming in, but it didn't play into the sketch at all.
No reason.
Well, when you say it that way, that's as racist as 3 years ago in network TV. Like that's,
Sure.
But I thought you meant like it would say like DeMorge and the boys are hanging out. Like that's probably.
I mean, there's stuff like that for sure.
Yeah.
DeMorge is regular on the show, and he had a story about a commercial that matches that definition. The descriptions were racist. They were saying that they were spelling it wrong because they were. I'm assuming because a group of black people some of the vowels come out and stuff because just in the stage direction. Anyways, I'm a good person. And if I had been at that audition, I would have pulled DeMorge out of there. I would have said, "You're better than this." What is it about us at that age? Because I brought in something to your show that's like whatever. It was something from when I was like 12 or 13 or
Heat
something.
Vision and Jack.
No.
Very early, Heat Vision and Jack.
That was actually meant to be a compliment, not a
We
burn,
just screened it, and everyone enjoyed it, and then we called the show.
But I think you guys recommend don't bring stuff in from your childhood because then it's like the line between like, oh, how adorably bad at writing I was at 12.
Yeah.
But the really important thing is this idea that I don't know what age we think it is in our heads, but like, oh my God, you're going to read that thing I wrote when I was 23.
I think it's college.
Yeah, I mean it's that age between, and I don't know what's supposed to happen to you in that age except for you writing badly. That's supposed to make you so good on the other side. Do we worship the idea of? Are we supposed to be perfect? That's how it feels sometimes. Like we're supposed to never have done anything wrong, which is it doesn't make any logical sense when you think about it, but it is how we feel, right? You're never supposed to have done anything wrong.
Yeah, I think what for me
please turn your phone on vibrate. We have people.
I think what is fun about it for me is getting to see people who I admire, who I'm friends with, and realize that we were all, and sometimes still are, just like terrible at what we all love doing. And even great people will bring in stuff that's like maybe a year old that just wasn't good.
They're just throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks. But I think it's like, oh, they're trying, right?
Right.
And there's this idea that like when you watch people you love, you're like, oh, they must have been perfect the whole time.
Right.
and they're.
I mean, do you think that Salinger, like, I mean, I haven't read Catcher in the Rye since they made me read a chapter, and then I just fucking got the Cliff Notes. But, like, supposedly is this really? I mean, that was his whole trip, is that he dedicated his life to this idea that, like, and now his books are going to come out of a magic chest once a year, whatever. Everything was like battened down, like no. Look, there's no transparency there. Who wants to listen to Anne Rice disown the vampire movies? Who wants to? I don't want to see what J.K. Rowling's having for breakfast. This whole everything's. Who are these people? Were creative. Now they're just boring, terrible people. J.D. Salinger. He wrote one book, the most perfect book ever, and then he boarded himself up in a basement. But you could hear the typewriter clicking away. And every once in a while, they say the squirrel's breath carries a paper pulp on it that will one day form. They say the New York Times is holding the last will, and the J.D. Salinger will once again have written the second perfect book. Well, what if it was like better than? Anyways, now I'm being rhetorical because I know we're all asking the same question, right? But like what? What the fuck? What kind of person would that be? Would we even like that person? But we always think it about the people that we admire. We think that they're better than us. We don't just think, oh, they must have fucked up really bad.
We have had a couple people who bring stuff that's like that they truly think is terrible. Like they're not trying to trick the show by bringing stuff they think is great, but they are just so funny that even their terrible stuff is great, and you kind of just hate them for it because they just have been funny.
They're humiliated by an amazing sketch.
Right. Or like we had Rob Delaney did an early stand-up set that like almost verbatim of how he would have done it back in the day, but then pointed out, like it was all very funny, but he pointed out with each joke like why he doesn't think it's funny now. And it was more of just like, I wouldn't make that, he was saying like he wouldn't make that kind of joke now because that's just not what his sense of humor is. So sometimes it's not as much about like, oh, you were shitty then. It's like, oh, you've been funny the whole time, but your perspective has changed.
Right.
That's not a funny answer, but that's the truth.
It doesn't. I mean, maybe one day in the future you'll have the perfect, funniest answer. No, that's the answer I wanted. No, it's not. What am I talking about? There was a random answer. I don't want a random. There was a very interesting. Like it's because when Erin did the show, Erin's was amazing because it was so like laid bare. She was writing. She wasn't. There weren't letters to her. English teacher.
They were like plays.
They were plays, but they were clearly like she was.
It was fan fiction for her own life.
That only she had read before.
Right.
And like it was a very transparent like attempt at a sort of seduction of this teacher.
I think the plan was that she was going to. Everyone in her class had to write these plays, these like one act. And hers involved a character loosely based on her and a character loosely based on her teacher having a liaison after school.
But having kind of a snarky, like it was definitely not. It was clearly this is the thing that would like make me cringe the most. Like we were talking about these bare wires that I think your show at its best is like. That's where this energy is coming from. These exposed wires. To me, listening to those. Pieces she was reading, the craziest thing about them was that she didn't just want to have sex with her teacher. Like the way she was she wanted to be married to him, and she wanted to have sassafras with him. Like she wanted like it didn't have I mean, it was like they were talking about sex, but it was more like
it was like if a 16-year-old. Like what a 16-year-old thinks that all of that stuff would be when you're older.
She wanted to have like this repartee and and that was like crazier than if she had just said his hand touches her boob.
Because also he'd be staying there after class the whole
comes
time.
out. Sorry, so I was just telling them what boobs do. What did you say?
Just the idea that a teacher stays there that long after class too is like, you must be burning the midnight oil every night. An elementary or a middle school teacher,
like he's
high
not
school
just
teacher,
clocking out and getting the fuck home.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's exposed. I think that's the thing. It's like nobody. what is that like? It's when your intent is so clear, when it's like crystal clear.
I think the best stuff comes from the end of high school and the beginning of college, because that's when you're at the center of the world to yourself more than the rest.
But the world's so big,
right? Like
it's bigger than it's ever been.
You just realize the world's bigger than it's ever been, and you're going to be a part of it.
You're right at the center.
And you don't know that you're wrong.
And everything that you do is something you're inventing because you haven't seen hardly anything. You've had a chance to see 4 things, so you're definitely not going to write where the red fern grows again. But everything else, you're convinced you're creating. You're like, holy shit, man! I'm gonna and it's so. Like God forbid that you ever get that insulation. I feel like your friends that go to film school, that was always the cliche when we first came out here to LA. It was like, oh, he must have gone to film school, because we just had an hour lunch with him and we talked about 20 movies and he never smiled, and we talked about what kind of movie we want to make with our camcorders, and he was paralyzed because it was like, oh, he must have gone to film school, because you're for 4 years you're sitting there watching everything and learning what everybody's ever thought that ever picked up a camera, and it fills you with like, oh, well, who's little old me?
Yeah, it's before you realize that. I think when you become an adult, which I'm not claiming to be, but you realize like someone has done a good version of a lot of different things already, and it's crippling because what the fuck are you going to add? But before that,
and at the heart of that fear, though, it can't just possibly be. Because we're not that noble that we would just think, well, I wouldn't want to do a worse job of writing a book about a car that eats people than Stephen King. There's a one thing right after that, and that's actually what we're worried about. Then everyone will make fun of me.
Right.
Then everybody, it's not actually the book being bad. It's like people will think that I'm stupid. People will think that I invented cars that eat people, and then they'll be like, you didn't invent that, right? And I'll be like, fuck you, and I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna enter this game until I'm safely away from all the double dutch, and like I'm gonna do this perfect Mary Lou Retton handspring through it. What in the fucking 42-year-old man? And then I'm gonna land at a Frogger game and just get the Pokemons.
We started in a car that eats people.
Yeah. Christine. Yeah, I'm holding that up as like, I didn't want to get anything wrong about Anna Karenina.
The thing is, by the way, Stephen King himself has done multiple versions of I'm going to one-up the car that eats people. It's a washing machine that eats people.
Yeah, and he has,
it's
some
lots of trucks that eat people. Like, he's done his own.
Most of the people that you think are great, which is why I brought up Salinger, because I think he's kind of one of the exceptions, because we just can't, people want to find Salinger failing, and it's like, oh, he wrote Catcher in the Rye. And
he's the literary equivalent of the episode of Seinfeld where George decides to just leave after he gets one joke in a meeting.
Everybody else that you admire, in fact, quite, like Stephen King is a great example. As I'm sure now it's kind of hip to kind of not say he was good at anything, but it's certainly one of the most prolific, sorry, Stephen, if you're listening, or your son, or anyone that loves you, your caretakers, why do I do that? Not that anyone thinks Stephen King's good. Honey, what was it? Do you think Dan has something against Stephen King? I don't know. But I think it's cool that you're driving, even though I'm a guy.
They got to get to that bachelor.
I'm a guy too. My voice is just in a higher register. Why are you holding those ice cream cones and lifting them up and down? I thought you might like one or the other. Do you like vanilla or chocolate? I don't feel very secure in this conversation, so I don't know if I'm going to volunteer information about what I like, but I'll tell you chocolate. Without letting you know whether that's what there is no chocolate. Fuck you. See, that doesn't hurt me because, as I was saying, you don't have the power to hurt me, and I'd appreciate it if you just let me out up here. Nope, fucking problem at all. Moving these ice cream cones to the right. Yeah. Just a word of advice. I don't want your advice. Word of advice, though, in case you don't. I don't want your fucking advice. Close the fucking door. Close the fucking door. Word of advice. Don't you fucking physically intimidate me. Don't you physically intimidate me. Oh, give me a fucking break. Fuck you. Fuck you. Ah. Woo. towels down. Give me the handcuffs. Where are the extra handcuffs? There's like 4 people here. We don't have enough handcuffs for all these corpses.
Should we check in on the police brutality statistics?
Yes. Okay, now these are coming in from Erin, who's our correspondent in Ireland. I don't know why she knows this about U.S. And so I'm not saying these are accurate. So I always feel like there's huge. I want to put this big giant asterisk on this and say, if I haven't said this already, you have to believe one of 2 things, which is that all cops are bad. If you don't believe that, and that's a crazy thing to believe because it's just an absolute thing and none of those are true, then what has to be true is that there's good cops out there and their hearts must be fucking broken right now. And I know it's not a great time to be like, what about them? But I was like, it's so easy to just be like, but they're a fucking epidemic. Here's the numbers. Here's the numbers from Erin. If she's wrong, remember when that guy from Yahoo said we were one of 11 sitcoms to get 100 episodes, and then people are like, "What about Sanford and Son?" It was like, okay, one of 238 sitcoms. By March of 2015, U.S. cops had killed more civilians this year than they did in the U.K. over the last 100 years. Yeah, so it's 100 times more than Europe. Yeah, every year. U.S. cops kill at an average rate of 70 times higher than other countries. Yeah, well, whatever. And then there's some crazy shit that it's an epidemic. And
Dan, cops are like Stephen King books. Most of them are very good, but occasionally he lets through The Mangler or.
Do you want to flip that? I think there's a couple hits, like there's a couple good ones, and then there's just a lot of Tommy knockers out there.
No. Listen, only a couple of good Stephen King books.
Compared to relatively his volume of work.
It, The Stand, The Dark Tower quadrilogy, plus 2 more, whatever 7 books are in a series.
He was writing for like middle school kids. It's all like 8th grade vocabulary. I mean, that's the target audience. Fuck you.
All right. Well, do you guys have any parting words for people who are interested in
police brutality?
I mean, obviously, people are going to look for your podcast. It's called Before You Were Funny.
Yeah, BeforeYouWereFunny.com. We're on Feral Audio on iTunes. If you look up Before You Were Funny, you'll find it.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun episodes with great people. Your episode's great. Erin had an episode. It's great. I'm not going to say any episodes are bad. They're mostly very, very entertaining.
But who is the worst person that you ever had?
That's easy. No, I'm just kidding. It's a lot of great people have been on the show. And I'm certainly not going to publicly announce the ones that haven't been great.
We do have a thing.
Oh yeah, I don't know if there's probably not time to read the whole thing.
We'll just hand this to you blindly.
So this is something when you did the show that we didn't have time to read.
Oh fuck you!
So.
Oh.
No. We haven't read it, so I truthfully don't know what it is.
Oh no!
Thank you.
Feel free to say yes or no.
Wait, I don't even know. Well, I'm just saying, oh no, but I mean, we have to. I mean, we're not going to do all that conversation, and then I'm getting that weird. Like, I'm seeing this, and I'm recognizing. I think there's no date or anything on it. This has got to be. It's done on a regular typewriter, like a word processor typewriter. So it's got to be like.
It's heavily indented.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's too heavily indented.
Like I was learning to set margins while I was doing it. Yeah, I'm gonna guess. Like I was I could be anywhere from 15 to 19 writing this. But how do we read it?
I think it's a short story. So
yeah, we could
paragraph.
Round robin. We could. whatever. Yeah.
All right.
Does the I'll do the well, doesn't it seem like I see that there's a guy and a girl in this. So what if I did all the narrative and then one of you be Dan and one of you be Ashley?
Great.
All right.
And so, and the way that the podcast works is that anyone can chime in with questions or thoughts about what's being read. So if you guys have questions or thoughts, or as you remember maybe what this is from, you can tell us.
Well, don't tell them they can ask questions
Not
at each
the
other.
whole. I mean,
you guys.
everyone at a microphone.
Okay. I mean, sorry. No offense, guys. But they're very empowered.
Sure.
There's like a kid with a gun. Like that would be like a adult with a gun. All right. So and my job, like I'm a pussy if I don't just fucking commit to this. Like if I have to keep rolling my eyes and apologizing for
I think
it.
you have to go for it.
Like that's I'm just talking to myself. Like I'm not gonna use good. We get it. You don't think you wrote good. Whatever. Like okay. Shut up.
This is, by the way, when you were asking about are there certain kinds of guests, this is what Sean Clements called the front porcher.
Oh yeah, yeah, you really front porch the sketch so you don't have to get to it ever.
Yep.
Okay. Dan stood on the beach, his feet firmly planted in the sand. He stared out at the ocean. The sun was a fist-sized orange ball. Nestled in... This is long.
So you can't see this, but we talked about indenting. This first paragraph is so indented you can't see some of the letters in the sentences.
I am, yeah. I'm guessing at the word sand and soft.
Yes.
Fist-sized orange ball nestled in soft horizon-long clouds.
That's a long cloud.
It's the standard cloud length. Also,
It's as long as they can be.
seagulls were making calm passes in search, and then the paragraph ends. So I think this is me like stopping and starting. This is like 80s style.
Oh yeah.
Dan stood on the beach, his feet firmly planted in the sand. He stared out at the ocean. The sun was a fist-sized orange ball nestled in soft, horizon-long clouds. Seagulls were making calm passes in search of food, and their rhythmic cries countered the ponderous, soothing bellow of the water stroking the shore.
You all know the sound of an ocean bellow.
Guys, thank you so much. But paragraph 2. The war was over. I'm starting to get kind of proud of this. The cities were leveled and empty. The humans were dead. All of them.
If it wasn't clear.
If they hadn't died in the war, they had plugged themselves into the Utopia net and uploaded their minds. There was no way for them to come back, but they didn't want to. No one could
All
resist.
one word. No one, all one word.
No one is all one word.
Nope.
None could resist. The immortality and the omnipotence. Not one person thought that having the whole planet to themselves was better than Utopia. Utopia was forever, and it was anything you wanted it to be. And yes, this predates The Matrix. It was nothing. Dan didn't want to hang around either, but he had to. his mind was incompatible with the network. I'm starting to do a sarcastic read. Ashley surprised him from behind with a tall glass of milk.
She's gonna slip.
Why didn't you guys come out with this on a flagpole? Like, why did you save this? Oh, before we go.
By the way, we only have 30 seconds left, but we want to bring this really long story.
Okay, so Ashley surprised him from behind with a tall glass of milk.
I thought you might be back here.
She said,
Listen, there's a lot of stuff I want to do. Do you think Disneyland will work? I mean, do the electric companies keep going and stuff? We got to find all that out, and we're not getting any younger.
her mind was also tragically non-uploadable.
So earlier when we said that all of the people who were alive, no one was alive. We met except for these two people.
Yeah, well, everyone that didn't die in the war plugged themselves into Utopia Net.
Fair.
And I'm stuck getting to have sex for the first time in my life over a nice glass of milk. What's the big deal? I'm as old as 19. Dan touched her cheek and smiled a genuine smile.
Pumpkin, we're the youngest people in the world.
Not really, honey. Not if life begins with conception.
Which it does. Which it does.
This is a truth.
You find out later it does.
Because I'm pretty sure I'm kind of pregnant.
This is before Joss Whedon.
Well, if you're not already, you're sure gonna be. I figure it's unavoidable what with a drastic decrease in the prices of hotels and champagne due to everyone but us being dead.
Is that ironic? That seems like winking at itself almost.
She giggled. A person dying was sad. 5 people dying was horrible. 10 people dying would make you cry. And seeing 100 bite it might give you nightmares for the rest of your life. I don't then walk you all the way up through the Holocaust. 5 million! 5,500,000! No!
The logic is that 100 is once it becomes insane, and then after that, 101, 102, 6 million.
Yes, you're right.
No
So, yes, exactly. But South American invasions are only upsetting, as is third world famine and the sinking of an American battleship, and everyone on the planet being dead except for you and your boyfriend. Hell, that's just fucking hilarious. So they both laughed for about a minute, embraced, kissed, and made love there in the warm sand. Yeah. An hour later, they were walking hand in hand. I gotta make sure she's pregnant. An hour later, they were walking hand in hand through previously unsafe neighborhoods. Topical. They were on fire for the most part. Looters
Still
during
unsafe.
looters during the past few days had seen the end of the world as a great opportunity to steal television sets and shoot each other.
No, that's television. Oh, sorry. I thought you said television set, like singular. It would have been a typo.
Yeah,
I was
nice one, Spencer.
Hey, thanks, Ryan.
That's what you're.
Y'all are waiting for when I was going to get him back, right? I found my moment.
In the green room, Ryan was saying that he was a mensch for trying to get his friend in for free to the show.
Spencer, you dick. That was not my friend. That was a stranger named Connor. Where are you, Connor? Do I know you?
That was
exactly
a stranger?
what happened. I heard you say, I can't get in. I drove 45 minutes. And I said, watch what this guy does. And I went into the green room and I pulled some strings. And now look at you, second row.
Well, I take that back, yeah.
Yeah.
You really are a mensch.
Yeah, thank you.
I thought that was a friend
I'm
of
a
yours.
mensch. Now, back to you.
I don't think
Utopia
mention
Net
call
Chronicles.
themselves that. Do they?
No, Spencer.
You don't
you've
point out
lost.
that you're a mensch. I don't think. Back to you, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like where
It was television sets.
television sets. Looters during the pandemic shoot each other. That was funny too. This was before Columbine. Well, it was charismatic to not care as a 15-year-old, and no one had done anything about it yet. They found an undamaged Buick with the key. Buick, like I know what a car is. They found an undamaged Buick with the keys in the ignition and drove it to Dan's home, but it was completely burnt to the ground.
Son of a bitch.
Dan said.
I had $1,000 worth of computer equipment in there.
What do we make of that? That was. All right.
It's a ton of money. Plus, also, if you're going to be uploading people to Utopia Net, you need a computer equipment.
Yeah, Ashley's place wasn't hurt at all. I think that was my equivalent of going like, I lost my skateboard. You know, like I thought that having that much computer equipment made me cool. Ashley's place wasn't hurt at all, so they spent an hour there.
Well.
And we know what takes an hour.
Editor's note: only one thing takes an hour.
Yeah, it's a
when there's only two
handhold.
people in the world. Ashley cried and cried and then laughed, and they took her parents' Pontiac Grand Am because it had a CD player in it, and because my parents had a Pontiac Grand Am. And they were already starting to miss the constant barrage of broadcast information.
Wow.
Page 2. Were you about to say we don't have to read the whole thing?
I just know you guys have stuff to get to.
Well, let's just go a little faster. We'll just go a little faster. Wait. This is a different thing.
Really?
Yeah, this is not. What is this?
I like this.
What is this?
I mean, this is the file.
I don't know. Yeah, this was.
I don't know what this is.
Let's pretend this is part of the same story.
Maybe. Why don't we save this for next week? Because this looks 1,000 times more embarrassing. And I
I didn't say it.
what? What say? We'll play. We're gonna play. We're gonna play Shadowrun.
Nah,
All right. All right. Fuck you guys. All right. We'll read it.
This is the thing.
But I'm telling you, I could just tell. It's just wafting off of it. I'm seeing random words and I'm going, uh-oh.
No, I know.
Because I think this is
I'm seeing-
I don't even think this is a story.
No, I read ahead. It's not as compelling.
This is-
I'm sorry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think this is like free writing or something.
Yeah, this is not.
How do
the
we
same
read?
as
How do
the
we read
Utopia
this
Net.
one? Do we even know what to do with this?
I don't know if there's characters or.
We could do
It
7.
looks. I'm thinking that by and large, it looks like a dialogue between two people.
Yeah.
So if we try to go every other line, I mean, do you guys just want to try it?
Yeah, let's just do it. You know what these are, John?
What?
Beautiful, man. They're cool.
Seriously? Don't lie to me about stuff like that.
I don't lie, John! If I thought they were shitty photographs and your bed looked nice, I'd tell you your bed looked nice. As it turns out, though, your bed is a bare, cum-stained mattress, and your photographs are great.
To be clear, that's B-A-R-E, not a bear, animal shape.
No, that would be weird.
I don't know. There's a world where it could happen.
A friend of mine told me that there's a place in Chicago that discovers amateur photographers. I got their number and stuff. This friend of his or something made a whole bunch of money through them, and he's fucking famous now.
Maybe that was
So you think I could make money doing stuff like this?
What do you want money for? And what is this? No offense, but it's not real clear. Yeah, that's fair.
Well, why does anyone want money? For food and stuff? That's a picture of a soda cup in a theater. I split it. It's not real good.
Spilt it. Come on.
Oh, sorry. In fairness, that was spelled correctly.
Whoever spilt it, dilt it.
I spilt it. It's not a real good photograph, but I wanted to remember it because I kind of got this big idea in my head when it happened.
This is before American Beauty.
It was one of those things on TV when something happens to somebody or they see something that kind of changes their life.
It says laugh in parentheses.
Well, what happened? Wait, don't tell me. You spilled your soda, and your friends ridiculed you and got loud, and someone in back said, shut up to them, and they said, shut up back, and a fight broke out later, and they blamed the entire thing on you.
No, nothing like that.
Really shut down that nameless friend. Oh, well, that happened to me.
I guess so. No, I spilled my soda, right? And I'm pretty much in the middle of the theater, and the floor slopes down, So the soda, big fucking soda, man.
This is probably after Reservoir Dogs. I'm just assuming. I don't know. I can't tell them.
Why is that in parentheses? Is he speaking in parentheses?
No.
Is it an aside?
I think I didn't know how. I didn't know you just do a dash.
Oh.
I think this is before Reservoir Dogs and after I read something by David Mamet. I'm trying to place this.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's big because, that's your foot, right?
Right, yeah. So it's bigger than my foot, and there's a lot of soda, and it flows downhill into everyone's feet that's sitting in front of me.
Makes sense.
All the people in front of me start turning around and looking back who's spilling shit on my feet, man? And they're all looking at me. So what are you going to do? You turn around. I turn around, and the guys behind me, they ain't got no soda on their feet, but they do got 50 people turning around looking at them. So they turn around because they're thinking, are they looking at something really neat behind me? And everybody's doing this, and there's this loudmouth big guy that's everyone's afraid of, presumably, about a quarter way from the back. And he starts up, what the hell's going on? What? And all of a sudden, the movie goes out of, oh, that's not... I don't think that's dialogue anymore. There was no end quote.
Right. Well, excuse the fuck out of me.
And the movie goes out of focus. See, I think a guy in the booth thing up there thought that everyone was turning around going, what the hell, because it was out of focus. So he tried focusing, but he fucked it all up. So then everybody really does start yelling.
All caps.
Focus. And so he eventually gets it back to normal. Ta-da!
That's before Plato's Cave. Plato's Cave had not happened yet.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm really glad I didn't spend the whole interview going what's with these fucking assholes that come up with this shit that's embarrassing? What's wrong with them? Because then it would have been you too. It's amazing that you guys kept that stuff around. Yeah. Jacob and Justin, everybody.
Yeah, so much.
Before You Were Funny is the name of their show. And when you listen to it, your spirit will grow. It will grow from the pain that you feel inside. Because when you were younger, your ego was wide. Remember when you made that sound over there, buddy? I'd said something I thought was funny, and you were like, "This is how I laugh." Well, it sounds like you're making a shit sound with your mouth. You're killing me. Two different sounds for a reason. Laughter, and then the poop sound. It's like a boo. Get your shit together. Did you, when you were a kid, when you were younger, did you write a lot?
A little bit, yeah.
You got anything laying around?
Yeah, got some archives. I mean, to be honest, I'm at this level now.
Well, as we were kind of approaching with them, it's sort of a subjective thing because I kind of feel like the people in the audience, like having been them and hearing like other people be so laid bare, it's like it's not, it's for the person that's sharing the stuff. It's like, oh God, I don't know what the metaphor is. It's like everyone, the actual cut is as deep, and it's like nice to learn that it's not that deep, but it's interesting to see that the person that's receiving the cut thinks that it's going to cut their whole arm off, and then watching it not do that because everyone's just like, well, yeah, how good a writer do you think you are now? And how much do you think I care if you were ever a good writer? And also, like, isn't that the first honest and last honest thing you ever wrote in your life? Because you were like, I try to get you pregnant because you're like, you didn't know. You're just like honestly expressing something.
Was that part of some longer story novella?
I wrote 1,000 of those things. It were just like I was trying to like. I was like, I can see it. It's like I can see myself getting laid on a beach because the world ended because of robots.
I want to know more about UtopiaNet. I want to know more about what happens
that's
to
the
this
trouble.
couple.
That's when you really have to write a story and stuff. But I was just more into the, like when Michael Scott, when they find the posters that he made for his movie. Like I was one of those people, but I couldn't draw posters. So I just wrote page ones of a lot of like really, really immersive stories about me getting laid. When I was really young, I would write sequels to movies. It was just like I would watch things.
Yeah, I'm a mensch.
All right. I was in the middle of something where I would have said bless you. So really, you should have said I'm sorry, because I was in the middle of something. Bless you. Thank you. You're sorry. It's okay. Bless you. All right, what was I talking? Who cares? I wrote a bunch of stuff when I was a kid. Who cares? All right. I also used to. No, never mind. When I was first masturbating, I would.
Go on.
I would do it. I was a kneeler, and there was no lock on my bedroom door, so I just, like, at the height of my frenzy, I would just go into my bedroom door, close the door, drop my pants, kneel, and jerk off right onto the door. And much like Philip Seymour Hoffman's character in Happiness, I would not like clean it up. I would like, oh, wonderful. This is all part of the thing. Because I thought, like, well, who would ever know what that is? That's not going to be anyone's first guess. Who would think a person would come that much on a door?
What color was your door?
This is the perfect crime. What?
What color was your door?
After a while, yellow. Let's move on. That's the memory that came back to me when I was reading that, when the guy going like, you're gonna get pregnant pretty soon if I know me. Like, and that's all I was just like this little useless like jackhammer.
Did you have this in your hand while you were doing that?
I didn't jerk off to my own writing, Ridley.
Why not?
I did write stuff that I tried to cheat the system with the pornography. Yeah. Did you ever write porn for yourself?
Of course. I drew it too. I'm not ashamed. Yeah, thank you. All you non-wooers, loosen up.
Did you find that it worked?
Yeah. Still does.
Wait, what do you mean still does?
What?
You don't still write, you don't type out sexual scenarios and then masturbate to them. You do. If you do, then let me retract all of my funny faces, because we want to know.
That'd be a weird podcast. People reading the pornography that they write for themselves.
That would be fucking insane. That would be the most extreme, right? Yeah. Especially if it was shit from when you were 15, which is when I was really doing it. Man, oh gravy. What would that even have been? I don't even know.
Does everyone remember how judgmental Dan was when I first brought it up, and now he's just confessing? The floodgates are open. Yeah.
No, all right, Ridley.
Yeah.
Let's bring up DeMorge.
All right.
For God's sake. Can we? For God's sake, can we get DeMorge up here?
Jesus. Let's bring up DeMorge.
Is that what you heard? It was more laconic. I was more like, let's bring up DeMorge. Like I was like grumpy, like I needed you the whole time, but I wasn't willing to admit it.
That's not what I said.
You know what we got? Like this isn't the right time of the show to do maintenance, but for next week and all weeks thereafter, we got to get some kind of implement for the ice. Because when I want to make people a drink, I don't want to touch their ice.
Tongs.
A claw. Yeah.
Tongs.
A nice claw.
Tongs would be fine. A scoop. A large spoon. And you know what? We've never asked anything of this venue. We let them sell their comic books up front, and we do our little show back here, and it's been a detente. But if shit goes down, if there's not some tongs here next week, I don't know what that is. That the Star Trek theme?
Sounds like a patent.
It's almost like a Confederate harmonica fireside sort of whimsy.
Chris McKenna had the theme from The Last Starfighter in his iPhone, and he would start playing it every time I went into a rant about something. And then it would. Then it was like this weird feedback loop where I was like, "Do you like me or hate me?" My therapist told me to breathe.
Woosha.
What was that?
Oh, it's just,
Oh, you just made up a word.
Make of it what you will.
Okay.
Allow it into yourself.
It might have been a small racist part of me that thought that maybe that was a real word that you were teaching us. It might have been the most racist part of my brain of all.
So
what's that? What's that, DeMorge?
What have we learned about ourselves?
You're like, mouth noises? Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Take the words into your mind. Roll them around like savory pieces of meat. Allow the flavors to tell you what they tell you about yourself. Later on, do research.
It's that time of the show.
Hey,
when we play Shadowrun.
damn.
And it's that time of the show when we haven't had a lady up, and it's just a coincidence. So I'd like to ask if anyone wants to come up to the stage, but I won't be picking you if you present as a male.
Rex up.
You said I'll come up. You raised your hand first, but you were in my field of vision. She's been up. That clinches it. You haven't been up too, have you? All right. You're from where?
Australia.
Oh, from Australia. Okay.
Shit.
You won't be our first Australian, but we love them. We love them. We don't love them all. We don't know that. There might be bad people from
Only
Australia.
some of us are fond of you as well. So.
Yeah. I'm working on it. What's your name?
I'm Melanie. Hi.
Melanie. Hello. This is DeMorge. My name is Dan Harmon.
Hello. Hi.
I got high before the show, and that's Ryan Ridley, and that's the audience. That's Anatoly. He puts his feet way out. It's fine. You don't have to tuck him in. It
I'm
doesn't
disappointed
matter.
there's no cat sweater.
Yeah.
Anatoly, did you hear your Russian friends are like, oh, the polar ice caps are melting? That means we can put our legs out on the globe. and each leg will suck in more oil so we can make more ice cap melting.
Yeah.
You guys are crazy.
I told Dan about that Vice segment at dinner tonight.
You guys
Shit's
got
gonna
dinner?
Go down. Yeah. I kind of asked. I sort of asked where Spencer was, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah.
I care.
Oh man. He asked me why you don't drive me to the show, and I said because it's his time to make his D&Ds.
It's true. Yep.
He was not making any D&Ds.
Oh no, this D&D was made months ago.
Yeah, wait. All right, let's. So, Melanie, have you heard the show?
I have, yes.
So you kind of is there a character you've always wanted to play? We'll give you first choice.
I'd like to play Dr. Friend if I could.
Okay.
All right.
I feel like he would go off well as an Australian.
We're going to find out.
That's called Washawn, what he just did.
I'm taking that back to Australia. I'm going to introduce it to the people.
Wait, I don't. Can you guys figure it out?
It's top down.
Okay. Well, you always get. Okay, that always happens.
The one that says
It
Brown
does.
DeMorge is me. There we go.
All right. And we're good with this. This is the number of people we need, right? So you're
Right.
Somebody?
You're Jeff Davis's
Thank
character.
you.
Ridley, you have no idea what you're doing, right? You're playing Eve Libertine. That's Jeff Davis's character. I don't know where we are either. DeMorge is playing.
There's no Erin?
Erin is not here. Do we need a replacement for her?
Nope. Not
So
a
we have no
joke.
face person.
I mean, anyone's a face person if you believe. All it takes is a face.
All right. Well, you got a recap, and then let's just jump in and see how it goes.
Yeah. Oh, so I made an email address. It's Harmontown Run. If you have a Harmontown Shadowrun recap, just send it to harmontownrun@gmail. That'll make it easier for everyone. This one was brought to you by Eben Burgoon, who also wrote a different one that I said he didn't do, but he did it. Okay. That's all taken care of. Last time on Shadowrun. With one last drink and a decision, the gang hopped into their Uber and set out to claim their reward from Johnson. After some shrewd negotiations, the crew handed over the BTL chip research and Yellowman to the scheming corporate stooge. They were all smiles as Johnson gave them the hefty attaché case filled with the sweet, sweet paper money of this digital age. Those smiles quickly faded to horror as they watched their nefarious employer shoot the unarmed Yellowman, his splattered blood now on their hands, pants, and faces. The question of their ethics barely coming into question until the noise from the Johnson driving away turned to the sound of muted beeps from their briefcase. Will our Shadowrunners ever get that next drink? Will they soon join Jesse Yellowman in Nano Hell? Is the meter still running on their Uber, and do they take paper money? We find out now on Harmontown Shadowrun time.
Well, I'm thinking I'm just gonna go. The briefcase is beeping and start running.
We can't just throw it out a window. This is your apartment.
I think we're in a.
You're in a parking lot, fence sort of area, like a transpo lot.
So I'm just running.
Can I not throw a physical barrier up around the suitcase?
You absolutely can do that.
I'm going to do that.
All right. Well, I'll just say.
Whilst we're running.
Well, you have to concentrate. You
All
can't
right,
do it
I'm
while
going to
you're running.
concentrate and do that while everyone else runs. I'm going to nobly sacrifice myself, possibly.
All right. Nobly sacrificing yourself, you throw up a force dome around the briefcase as it's beeping is muted by the sound, or not the sound, by the barrier. You can't hear it beeping. It's just chilling. It's just chilling.
I may have made a mistake. We now can't hear it beeping. So if it beeps faster as it counts down, let's run.
No, I've seen her doing this, and I need to play off my shame and go like, oh, good, yeah, I was clearing everybody out.
Solid move.
I think it's good what you're doing. That's good. We shouldn't be able to hear it beeping. The beeping comes through the explosion medium.
Well, we should maybe move away.
If you can back up while you're creating that barrier, I'll make sure the path behind you is clear.
Hildegard runs to Dr. Friend, wraps an arm around Dr. Friend, lifts Dr. Friend up, and runs away with the package using strength and agility.
What?
The package?
The person.
Oh, the
Dr.
person.
Friend, not
Okay.
the package.
Yeah, you run away towards the ends of the transpo lot. You don't see anything happen. Now you're just far away from a force field dome. You hear the sounds of people moving. Maybe some sort of crowd or march. People are moving.
man.
Footstep sounds coming from far off. You realize you're not in the best area of town.
Using my ability to detect enemies, I'm trying to see if there is anything that sparks inside of me.
Using your detect enemy skill, your perception shifts and you can start to see the flickering souls of life around you in the transpo lot. You can see the warm auras of your friends sparkling with vitality, but also much dimmer flickers. Many, many flickers. Some entities have damaged souls, some sort of weird magical interference. But there's lots of them, and they're all surrounding you.
So those of us with weapons should probably find them close at hand, and we should stick together and look to be prepared for some sort of...
What are you looking at? What are you talking about?
Well, I just have a feeling that there's sort of things are going to go a bit Minnesota in a minute.
You hear hissing and moaning.
Is that Minnesota?
It certainly is in California, I'll tell you that much. But I digress.
I mean, they kind of sound like zombies or something.
They kind of do.
Why are they flickering? Are they like hologram zombies?
His enemy sense has the ability to read people's auras, but people who are unhealthy or maybe afflicted by various things might have flickering or damaged auras.
All right, well, just tell me where to shoot.
And is there any way that I can get a location on this, or is it just sort of on the periphery?
There's easily more than 30 individuals. They're kind of all surrounding the general neighborhood. It's like they're fanning out, walking around, as if something's roused them.
I have lifted my Ares Alpha assault rifle with the left hand and on the right the combat axe. You guys do the best you can do. Find what weapon you have.
Do we have a place we can all meet in case we get separated?
Well, I can't physically hurt someone who hasn't hurt me first, so I'm sticking with you.
Okay.
You can carry me, right?
Let's get through.
Smart link, perhaps.
We're
smart link to future Uber or whatever this vehicle is, and possibly get some sort of exit or egress from this situation.
Yeah, you could hail an Uber.
Then this is what I have done.
All right.
So we're not going to hang around and check it out at all?
Well, it's doing that thing where you can see all those cars, but no one's biting, you know?
I'm gonna go up to the roof so that I can protect everybody.
You're in a fenced area, just like a parking lot.
All right, I'm gonna go over the fence and then I'm gonna seek higher ground like a brave cat at the Humane Society in a cage with one shelf at the top. Just higher ground just makes me more comfortable. I saw a guy get killed on the ground once, and kind of triggers me. So I'm gonna go up.
I could cover you from here, perhaps.
From what? What?
What? Just muzzle raised. I'm covering you in case some sort of action should happen.
No,
You said you're going.
Well, I'm good. I thought we were all gonna go.
Oh, it's a team operation.
We're not retreating.
I thought you were just going on the roof to watch out for us.
Yeah, I thought you were just going to check it
I
out.
was going to go up the roof because I'm scared. Okay. Obviously it's gotten
Do
to
you
that point.
want us to follow you?
I don't think you can. So I think I have to leave you behind and go up to a higher place where I don't die.
So the one who is so full of so much bluster with monologues and everything, do you have a monologue for insecurity?
I don't think there's time for it. I'm scared. I'm scared of things on the ground. It's my thing. But the money's on the ground.
So via comlink, or whatever that is,
Sure.
what's the sitch? Do you see people? Do you see zombies? What's going on?
No, he said he saw flickering.
I see flickering souls.
I haven't seen anything yet.
Well,
I see the
Why?
darkness.
Tell us what you see. Look around.
What I see is my hands climbing over a chain link fence, getting out of the fence area. And I'm asking if I also see you guys coming with me, or if I have to make up a lie about what happened to you to my friends at the bar.
I'm in.
Might I try and is there some sort of distance? Can I try to mind link with some of these darker souls? Does this?
You're not within range of any mind linkable entities.
As I suspected. So what? There's two votes in that direction. So I would say that then Hildegard will follow.
As will Dr. Friend.
Heading over the fence, you climb upon the roof of an old, devastated gas station.
Told you there's a roof.
What you see is people milling about. They look all weird and screwed up. They definitely have sorts of skin conditions, as well as white skin. Like white, like pale, albino-style white. You see their eyes are crusted over as if they are blinded, and their hands are covered in gnarled claws as if they've been twisted by some sort of dark force or virus. You recognize them to be ghouls, that is to say, people who have been infected by the HMHVV virus.
Too soon.
They're milling about. They haven't noticed you, but something has brought them out of the woodwork.
They haven't noticed us?
No, they're just milling about blind style.
How many?
Lots.
Like ocean?
Nah, like 40.
40. Have I encountered ghouls before?
Oh, yeah. I mean, ghouls, they're everywhere.
Is it possible to use spell casting to sort of...
I feel like we should just fight them, right? I mean, this is dying up here. I mean, come on, let's do something. Come on, let's fight these ghouls. Come on.
That's just puberty talking.
Do we fight one, or do we separate one and see if we can cure them?
We could easily run away. The only thing that's keeping us here is do we want to fight 40 ghouls for a briefcase full of paper money?
That's ticking.
Right.
Beeping.
They've got HMHV, man. How hard can they be to defeat? I got all kinds of magic spells and stuff. I'm sure you guys got some weapons. Let's do this.
You and the doctor maybe take your shot.
Well, can I, Spencer?
Yeah.
This says can't physically hurt someone who hasn't hurt me first.
True.
Are they technically trying to hurt me?
Well, you haven't seen them try and hurt you, but, you know, your morals, they slacken from time to time, so...
All right, let's do this.
Well, what if they...
Thank you.
All right, fine. I'm with you, sister. Talking to Ridley.
Yeah. I'm Eve Libertine.
All right. Well, I guess for lack of anything better to do, as the guy who can only shoot guns, I'll just run down and go and shoot my gun. I'm sure you'll be right there to help me.
Absolutely. I have a severe seafood addiction, a distinctive style. I'm sure that. How do I kill things, Spencer? What do I do? Where am I looking here?
I mean, you have like some guns somewhere. Like
I shoot them.
All right, where?
At the ghouls.
Okay, and Dan, you're just running. You're running down.
I'm going.
I have both guns in my hand, and I'm just firing.
Okay.
Just firing.
God
into
also
the
is firing.
And
the eyes
part of what I'm doing is sarcastic. Because I'm tired of people saying I'm a coward. But the truth is, I'm a tactician and a procrastinator. But if this is bravery,
So who's all doing stuff? I got you two. Anyone else doing anything?
Can I fire the Irish assault rifle? Just blanket the area.
Sure.
Now we're talking.
And I have a ranged weapon. Mm-hmm. I'd like to shoot that as well.
Okay. So everyone's just shooting. All right. Jim Nightblade leaps off the top of the gas station and launches himself into the fray, firing while yelling semi-sarcastically,
"Oh, look at me!"
He pops 2 or 3 ghouls in their body parts as Eve Libertine also fires her weapons.
Oh, yeah.
At the ghouls, dropping.
Let me use some of this astral combat, too.
Well,
I see there's a 4 next to it.
well, that's not a gun, though.
It's combat.
All right. Utilizing his astral combat, he realizes all the ghosts he could be attacking right now.
Oh, ha, ha, ha. I'll get to them later.
Continuing to hail the enemy with their fiery bullets. I don't know what the fuck. Anyway, firing many automatic weapons. Bullets plunge into the zombies, killing 7 of them.
No, see, that's good. That's good.
3
That's like
surround
almost a
Jim
quarter.
Nightblade, but the rest seem to be scared and running away.
Did you say 30?
3.
Oh.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
They lunge.
Nano whip.
Well, they're lunging.
Well, nano whip their lunge.
They lunge. And you definitely dodge out of the way.
Whoa.
It seems that ghouls are not too dexterous.
Looks like you guys aren't too dexterous. Might I recommend some calisthenics in the morning and, not being a ghoul? Ghoul burn. Where'd you go?
Yeah, what happened?
You had to, obviously take a shit, right? There's no other reason to leave.
It's very subtle. Very subtle.
Hordegard, with his combat sense, expertly drops a few zombies,
And
but then he sees. Then he sees Jim Nightblade being surrounded by ghouls.
I called in the airstrike.
Hordegard, you got crazy reflexes, so you're the only one who can act right now.
You make a poo-poo.
So obviously your skills of focus are at the negative, right?
I guess it could have been a pee-pee.
No. It was the latter.
That was fast done.
You didn't. Yes.
We'll talk about it later.
Soylent Blue is not what it used to be.
Save him, Hordegard.
From
Save him.
zombies.
Using Jesus Christ, what? Blades. I'm tossing blades.
Okay. What blades do you have to toss?
What sort of blades?
I think the combat hatchet's the only blade you have.
So I'm going to wield. Actually, I'm not going to toss. I'm going to wield it. I'm going to walk into the situation, moving as fast as I can, reacting quickly, and swinging.
Wait, what?
With
doing
murderous,
what? Okay.
Murderous intent with anything that is a problem.
Walking quickly with murderous intent. You wield your axe wildly. You leap off the gas station roof. You land on top of a zombie. Coming down with your hatchet, you cleave the other one in half.
In twain is like what I'd like to call it.
Right in twain. Clefton Twain was a really old D&D thing we did once. Yeah, episode 8. Something like that.
Those were the days.
One zombie remains.
Really?
Oh, a lot of them scattered. He just killed 2.
Now we're the bad guys. We're just going to gather around him. Woo! Where you going, zombie?
Yeah, let's leave.
It's Saturday night! We just start taunting it and waiting for a zombie cop to show up to say,
Is it possible that Hodegar could fire off a flashbang?
Yep.
Flashbang.
Sure.
To possibly stop the zombie in his tracks.
Well, it's blind.
But a concussion.
Sure.
Might do a thing.
Do we need to question this zombie? Sorry, before we kill it.
Yeah, find out what it knows.
Yeah. I know I'm the overzealous one, but...
Everybody, everybody stand down. Eve's going to question the zombie, the ghoul.
All right.
Get in there.
I can heal things, is what I'm saying.
Well, if he doesn't talk, or she, then we don't heal. We'll say, tell us the truth, and she'll heal you.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You get what I'm saying.
You guys get your fingers in the pulse of the ghoul population.
What I'm doing is, what I'm trying
healed.
to say is I'm pushing my thumb into the ghoul's wound, trying to, get it to talk.
You want to make physical contact with an infected
It's a good
beast.
way to get HHMVVV. Well, okay. Ghoul, come on, Ghoul. Tell him what you know about wandering the streets of the future and trying to eat people.
Why are you here?
It's not Austin Powers. There's no ghoul captain. We're not. They just came out of a place. They didn't come out of the suitcase. There's no.
We can't reason with them at all?
Yeah, why are you assuming all this?
Even if we could, is what I'm saying. What if they were the smartest rats in the world? Be like, what are you doing, rat? He'd be like, what do you think? I'm walking around in shit. You're here in my story. It's not. I'm interrogating you. The ghoul should be asking us, where can I eat you? He has no information for us. He's a mouth with legs.
This is some kind of crazy cyber steampunk world. I don't know what the rules are. It's half magic, half technology. I don't know what ghouls are in this world.
I have some facility with spell casting. Is there some sort of spell? I'm searching my brain. I'm trying to pull out something that might latch onto that kernel of human that might still be left within the zombie's consciousness.
I mean, I don't know, man. You got to check your spells.
I have said the level is 5. I'm looking at.
Well,
I'm going to go over to the briefcase while this is happening.
Okay.
Is it still?
While Spencer is laughing,
does it still have the barricade on it?
Yeah, it does.
I go, hey, you want to lower the barricade? This encounter's made me antsy.
Sure. I'll lower the barricade.
You do that. You hear beeping.
I open the briefcase.
You see nothing inside except for a small transceiver.
Fucking cock, dick.
Emitting beeping.
Shit, fucker.
The ghoul that Ridley was talking to starts going crazy and crazed. It starts thrashing around trying to swipe at anything within reach.
But they put a fucking ghoul magnet in the goddamn oldest trick in the fucking book. Fucking ghoul magnet. We fell for the goddamn 3-card Monty of 2057. A fucking ghoul magnet. It's like, what are we, fucking idiots? Ghoul magnet.
So are you stomping on it or anything, or do you want me to put the barrier back up again?
No, no, take the ghoul magnet. It's we could sell it at a fair. What?
Can we turn it off?
Well, who cares? I mean, you turn it off really by killing the ghoul. The ghoul magnet. I mean, honestly, you're talking to a person who's just at the end of his rope. I feel like such an idiot. I've changed my mind so many times on this job. And we get the guy killed. We didn't do anything right. I'm a bad shadow runner. We got tricked by a ghoul magnet.
Hodegar fires off a shock round in the direction of the flashing, thrashing beast. In the hopes that this will stop him from moving.
You mean the ghoul, right?
Yes, the ghoul.
You do that. And it does that.
I noted, Melissa.
So at least we've solved this half of the question.
Melanie.
No, I know my place now. That's okay.
The ghoul is down for the count.
Ghoul magnet. All right, well...
But not forever. In the interim, you two can work this out for yourselves.
Well, now you know what happens. We've got to figure out how to end the chapter.
Dramatic pickup of the briefcase?
It's an empty
Wait a minute.
briefcase.
Somebody gave us this ghoul magnet, right?
Yeah.
Oh, but who? The people that were here and shot everybody.
Oh, I wasn't... I don't know. I'm new to this story. I don't know.
It's the people they hired us. We don't know who they are. They're the people that wanted the information about the BTL chips.
I know. Can we look at like a serial number on the ghoul magnet, trace it back to its manufacturer, and then find out who ordered it and all that kind of stuff?
Why not? I mean, the funniest thing in the world would be if we ended up on a different adventure at a ghoul magnet factory. That's a big response. Thank you for responding in Harmontown. Ryan Ridley, our guest comptroller. Melanie, our Australian Dr. Friend. DeMorge Brown, our long-suffering, hard-pooping soccer fan.
Spencer Crittenden.
Spencer Crittenden, our
new
game master.
nemesis.
Chris, our
Dustin.
director in the back, and Kevin Day,
Dustin, you
our
ever get
technician in the Dustin
any
Marshall,
shout-outs?
and all the people that Jeff's normally supposed to thank, so I have an excuse for not thanking him right now. And Zach, the audio maniac. See you next week. Did you get any of that?
It's a good show.